Dear students, welcome to the lecture on Basic Electrical and Electronics Engineering by me, Mr. Manohar Suresh Edke, lecturer in Electrical Engineering Department from Brahmadev Dada Mane Polytechnic, Solapur. So, students, in this lecture, we are going to see some remaining contents of Unit 2 AC circuits. So, these are the remaining syllabus contents that is shown in bold font. AC in resistors, inductors, capacitors, AC in RL, RC, RLC series circuit, parallel circuit, and power in AC circuit, power triangle in AC circuit. So these are the contents that we are going to cover in this lecture. So first of all, we will see AC in AC in RLC means voltage and current response of RLC circuit elements when we connect AC supply. Means, for example, for to work any system, we require input. We give input to the system, then we get output. For example, if you take two-wheeler, for a two-wheeler as an input, what we give as an input, we give fuel. It may be petrol or diesel for cars. So input is fuel, and our controlling our human presence is something control on it. So the output, what is the output of two-wheeler? We ride on a road, so we get that output. So similarly, we give supply to resistance, inductance, and capacitors. So what are these? So these are the electrical elements. That is, resistance is one kind of electrical element. If you open any electronic circuit, breadboard, or a computer motherboard, you will see there are some elements: resistor, inductor, capacitor. So these are the elements. When we give electric supply to that elements, then we get something output of that resistance, inductance, and capacitors. So we'll see what will be the output of that are resistance, inductance, and capacitance when we give AC supply to that elements. So this is the first element we are taking, a AC supply to pure resistance. As you can see, we are connecting a power source. Means, for example, we have taken single phase power supply from MSCB supply, so it is of 230 volt. So through the wire we are connecting a resistive load. For example, you can consider a press iron or water heater. So we are connecting a AC supply to the load. So what will happen, if this is a closed path, then current will flow from source to load and will again complete its path to, and it will again come to the source. So this is the complete uh, path of electric current. So actually what happens, as this is AC supply, as you can see, this is positive half cycle and this is negative half cycle. For positive half cycle, what happens, current flows from here to here. So current, we can say current flows in clockwise direction, and for negative half cycle, current flows from the reverse direction. It is called as a negative direction. So as I am once again showing you, for positive supply, it will current will flow from here to here. This is clockwise or positive supply, and for negative half cycle, it will flow from this side to this side. So this is the waveform for that AC supply. So actually we are giving the whatever voltage to directly this load. So this is the resistance. So earlier lecture I have already told you what is resistance. So resistance is opposition to the flow of current. For example, consider a water pipe. We are passing water in that pipe, but we inserted some sand and small rocks in that pipe, in that water pipe. Then what will happen, the amount of water that were flowing will reduce. Similarly, in electric circuit, if we connect a resistance, the flow of current will reduce. So as you can see this in waveform, the voltage is the voltage waveform is this is Okay, and then current waveform you can see this is a this is a second waveform is current waveform. Actually you can see the difference. The maximum value of current is in the this much amount, but the maximum value of voltage is higher. As because of we have connected resistance, so the current will reduce. So always remember, when we connect a resistance, the current always reduces, that is current is always smaller than the voltage. So this is the waveform for voltage and current. So by how we get the current value of current, that is by Ohm's law. I will tell what is Ohm's law. According to Ohm's law, we can calculate the current. So what is that, I will show you. So the current I is equals to voltage divided by resistance. For example, consider voltage is equals to 100 volt and resistance value is equals to 20 ohm. So what will be the ratio of this both? Let's take voltage is equals to 100 volt and resistance is equals to 20 volt. So 0 will cancel, so the current will be 5 ampere. So if I apply the voltage of 100 volt and I have connected a resistance of 20 ohm, then the current will be 5 ohm. As you can see here, the voltage is bigger, the voltage is 100 volt, but the current is 5 ohm because of resistance. If we connected a resistance, then current will be reduced. So this is all about this. So this is the AC supply. We have connected a resistance of suppose 20 volt and we are giving 100 volt supply. Then because of this resistance, current will reduce. What is the formula for current? Current I is equals to voltage divided by resistance. So voltage we considered 100 volt and resistance 20 ohm. That's why the current is 5 ampere. For example, this is 100 volt, then we connected a resistance of 20 ohm, then current will be 5 ampere. So this is the voltage and current response when we connect a resistance, a pure resistance, to the AC supply. What is the meaning of pure resistance here? Pure resistance means only resistance only, no other elements. Means we are connecting only resistance. We are not connecting inductor or capacitor. We are connecting only resistance. That's why it is named as a pure resistance. So you can see earlier in lecture we have seen the voltage equation V of t is equals to Vm sin omega t. The same whatever we are voltage giving, that appears across the resistance. So we are directly whatever the voltage we supply. For example, if we supply 100 volt, so all that 100 volt will be connected across to this resistance, and voltage across this resistance will also be 100 volt. So if we take Ohm's law, voltage divided by resistance, so this will be the current through the resistance. So if we for drawing a phasor diagram, if we compare this equation with I of t is equals to Im sin omega t plus phi, then as the voltage and current both are starting from 0 degree, as you can see voltage and current both are starting from the 0 degree. That's why here you can see the waveform for both. So here is the waveform, here you can see the phasor diagram. In phasor diagram, as the value of voltage is more, so that's why the arrow of voltage is bigger, and as the current is small, the arrow of current is small. So according to as I told you in last lecture, according to the magnitude and the phasor where it is starting, the location of that arrow is dependent. So as the voltage and current both are starting at 0 degree, that's why both are on x-axis. The difference is value of or magnitude of voltage is large, that's why its arrow length is bigger, and the current is small, that's why its length is small. So now moving towards next point, AC through pure inductance. So pure inductance means what? It is a choke. It is a choke. For example, you might seen a choke in fluorescent tube light. So that is choke is called as a inductor, or we call generally we also call it as a choke. What is this inductor or choke means? So the inductor is nothing but a winding of copper or aluminum coil on a metal rod. When we wind 50 tons, 100 tons, or some amount of tons on a metal bar or anything material, then it becomes a inductor. When we wind a winding, so that is called as a inductor. So such a inductor, when we connect to AC supply, then what happens we are going to see. So general equation we have know, the voltage equation is equals to Vm sin omega t. So according to Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, the self-induced EMF is given by. So there is one law, that law is introduced by scientist Faraday. So he says that when we give supply to an inductor, what happens there, that inductor produces a magnetic flux. Means when current flows through that inductor, then magnetic flux gets created, as you can see in dotted line here. Then because of this flux get linked or cutted by the same inductor coil, then and voltage will be produced across that inductor. So this value of inductor is given by an equation, that is E is equals to minus L into di by dt. So L is the inductance. For example, for resistance, how we have resistance in ohm, so similarly there is a inductance for this coil. So inductance multiply by di by dt. What is di by dt means? It is derivative of current, means change in current. If there is change in current is happening, then there will be voltage production in that inductor. So this is the value that is given. So similarly it is Ohm's law. For by similarly Ohm's law, voltage divided by resistance. In inductance we have inductive reactance. Inductive reactance means it is similar like to the resistance. It also opposes to the flow of current. So by formula or by definition we can say inductive reactance is defined as opposition offered by inductance of a circuit to flow of an alternating sinusoidal current. So it is also opposing to the flow of current like a resistance. So it's a formula for inductive reactance is equals to 2 pi fl. 2 pi f, this 2 pi f is also called as a omega. So this is 2 pi f into L. L is the value of that inductor. So if when we connect the inductor in a circuit, what happens we are going to see. So this is the waveform. So we are considering that the voltage is starting from 0 degree. So as you can see, voltage is starting at 0 degree and it is getting completed. It's a one cycle, and then the current comes. So as you can see, voltage is started at 0, but current starts somewhat later. So what is the late degree, or that is starting after the voltage, that is the 90 degree. So current is starting after 90 degree of the voltage. That's why we say for inductor the current lags behind the voltage by 90 degree. So how we can draw the phasor diagram, as you can see. So there are two arrow. There will be two arrow because one arrow for voltage and one arrow for current. So you can see the voltage arrow is bigger arrow and current is small, and for the position, as the voltage is starting from 0, the phasor for voltage is on x-axis, and as the current is led by 90 degree, so it is behind the voltage by 90 degree. So as you can see, there is a 90-degree gap as the gap between the waveform. So length is smaller than the voltage, and one more important is it is lagging behind the voltage by 90 degree. So this is the phasor diagram for voltage and current of a inductor. Now third point comes AC through capacitance. So when we connect a capacitor to a AC supply, what happens we are going to see. So where you can see this capacitor. So this capacitor are generally used in electronic circuits as well as in a ceiling fan. In ceiling fan or pump, you might seen the capacitor in the motor. So this is the capacitor, and we are connecting a 230 volt AC supply to this capacitor. When we connect a switch and close it, then as the path is closed, the current will flow in that capacitor. So what will be the current value? So its current equation will be similar like to the Ohm's law, that is current through the capacitor IC is equals to voltage, supply voltage, whatever we are giving, divided by XC. So XC is a capacitive reactance. So capacitive reactance, we can have this formula. So it is also opposition to the flow of current. When we connect this to AC supply, so it also produces opposition. So its formula is given by capacitive reactance is equals to 1 divided by 2 pi fc. So what is the formula for current? Current is equals to IC is equals to voltage divided by XC. Means it is like similar to the Ohm's law, voltage divided by resistance, but here voltage divided by capacitive reactance. So this is the waveform and phasor diagram for capacitor when we connect a AC supply to a pure capacitor. Means pure capacitor means only capacitor, no other resistance or inductor. So this is a waveform. As you can see, this is the blue of voltage and another is for current. So voltage is starting from 0 degree, that's why we are giving we are putting a voltage arrow on x-axis. Then as you can see the waveform of current. So here as you can see the voltage is started 0 degree, but the current is already started before the voltage. So we can say the current is already ahead. Current is ahead the voltage by 90 degree. So that's why we are showing it above the x-axis for 90 degree. So this is the phasor diagram of capacitor when we connect a AC supply. So this is the formula, and for inductive reactance, capacitive reactance and resistance, for all the unit is ohm. Now the next point is AC through series RL circuit. So till now we have seen we give a supply to only a capacitor. As you can see, we are giving supply to only capacitor or only resistor or only inductor. But what we are doing, we are combining one resistance and inductance. So when we connect in such a manner, so one terminal is connected to supply and another terminal of resistance is connected to first terminal of inductor, then second terminal of inductor is given to the supply. When we connect in such a manner so that the current flowing through the both is same, then it is called as a series connection. As you can see, when we connect one and other element back to back each other, then we call it as a connected in series. So when we connect in a series, what happens, the voltage across each the voltage across resistance and voltage across inductor both are get added by phasor diagram. So here you can see this is the supply voltage we are giving. So voltage across the resistance is current into resistance. Current into resistance, it is the voltage across this would be the product of resistance into the current, and in this inductor the voltage across the inductor will be VL is equals to current into the XL. What is XL? XL is inductive reactance, which is given by omega L or 2 pi FL. So this is the formula for voltage and current. So what is the phasor diagram for both? For resistance, the phasor diagram will be like this, means voltage and current both will be on x-axis, and for inductor the voltage will be on x-axis and current will be on below the x-axis, or this is the in this way we can also show the phasor diagram. So this is a called as a voltage triangle, means you can see here are three types of voltage. One voltage is main supply voltage, this is the voltage in resistance, and this is the voltage in inductance. So there are three voltages here. So all three voltages we can show by a triangle, so that is called as a voltage triangle. So here you can see the voltage in resistance. So this is the voltage in resistance, so we show it on a x-axis, as voltage and current both are in on x-axis. So this is a voltage across the resistor, and this is the voltage across the inductor. So whatever this inductor, so across this inductor the voltage is this on y-axis, this is a vertical. So by the law of Pythagoras, when we connect this, we will get this voltage. So what according to Pythagoras, what is this value of this? So it is under root VR square, means voltage across resistance square plus voltage across the inductance square. So this is the voltage that we get from these two values. So these are the two voltages, and there is another term called as a impedance. So you can see this is one resistance, it is opposition to the flow of current, it is also opposition to the flow of current. So when we combine both, so it is called as a impedance, means we are not showing separately, we are combining the total opposition by this and opposition by this. So when we combine opposition of both, so this is called as a impedance. So value of impedance, what is value of impedance? That is denoted by Z is equals to resistance square plus inductive reactance square. So we are taking in square root, under square root resistance square plus inductive reactance square. So we are taking both opposition by both, and we are getting the one final opposition, that is called as a impedance, that is opposition to the flow of current. So another, we can see a series connection for resistance and capacitor. Here we have seen the series combination of resistance and inductor. So we are here going to see combination of resistor and capacitor. So this is the combination of resistor and capacitor, both are connected in series. So this is the main supply voltage. So there are three voltage across main voltage across resistance, and voltage across capacitor. So there are three voltages. So voltage across resistance will be product of current and resistance, and voltage across capacitor will be product of current into the capacitive reactance. So this is the formula for both, and this is the formula for this is the phasor diagram for resistance and capacitor. For resistance, voltage and current both will be in phase in same axis, that's why they are shown in one direction. For here, for capacitor, the current will start 90 degree before the voltage, that's why it is above the voltage. So this is some more formula for calculating the impedance value. Impedance is defined as a opposition of circuit to the flow of alternating current. As earlier I said, so impedance is nothing but total opposition. Total opposition means combination, means summation of this opposition plus this opposition. So this is a total opposition, that is called as a impedance. So here you can see this is a x-axis and y-axis. So we are calculating the phasor sum. Phasor sum means we are calculating by the law of parallelogram, and we are getting this value, or we can also get by law of Pythagoras. So what will be the value of resistance? So this is resistance. It is for trigonometry, you know that cos phi, here is the angle cos phi, so cos phi is equals to r by z. So we are keeping only r and moving z here. So similarly for capacitive reactance, it will come x is equals to z sin phi. So this is the total opposition, that is called as a impedance. So this is impedance. There are two forms of showing an electrical quantity, that is called as a rectangular form and phasor form. Just you can see and write this. They will not ask in exam for this point. So next point is AC through series RLC circuit. So till now what we have done, we have connected one resistance and inductance, we have connected resistance and capacitor. Now we are connecting all three elements in series, means all three are we are connecting back to back. So this is the circuit diagram. This is the main supply voltage. We are connecting all in series. So as this is closed path, current will flow through all these resistance, inductance and capacitors. So there will be also voltage across resistance, inductor and capacitor. So this is the waveform for voltage in resistance, this is waveform for voltage in inductor, this is waveform for voltage in capacitor, and this is the waveform of voltage that is we are giving as a input. So all these combination, what will happen, you can see for resistance both voltage and current are in starting from 0 only, 0 degree, that's why they are as shown here. And for inductor, the voltage is ahead the current, it is leading by 90 degree, that's why it is ahead the current. In capacitor, the current is ahead the voltage, that's why voltage is below. So here common, what we are taking current as a common. So by this formula we can calculate the voltage in resistance, inductance and capacitance. Earlier as we have seen, the product of voltage in resistance is product of current and resistance. Here for voltage in inductor is equals to I into XL, and for capacitance, voltage in capacitor is I into XC. So this is the voltage and current response of AC supply to the RLC circuit. So now the last point comes power triangle. So this is the power triangle. Power triangle is nothing but it is like a Pythagoras triangle. So here you can see there are three types of power in AC supply. Means there is one power, real power, or we say as a true power, means whatever the power is getting in resistor, that is a real power, and whatever the power is producing in inductor and capacitor, that is called as a reactive power. So summation of both rea- real power and reactive power, so we also call this real power as active power. So summation of active power and reactive power is called as a apparent power. So this is, as you can see, apparent power. So this is apparent power. By the law of Pythagoras, we can calculate under square root the real power square plus reactive power square, that will be the apparent power. So the active power we can calculate as, so this power on x-axis, the active power or real power can be written as P is equals to, the P stands for power, is equals to product of voltage and current multiplied by the cos theta. So this cos theta is the this theta is the angle between this triangle, angle in a triangle. So we can calculate the cos theta, means cos means this is the P divided by VI. P, what is P? So this is a real power divided by this apparent power. So this is the cos theta. The cos theta is also called as a power factor. You might seen in pump that we connect a capacitor to improve the power factor. So that what is that power factor is called as this cos theta. So this is the power triangle. So there, as I earlier said you, there are three kinds of power. That is apparent power. Apparent power is, this is the apparent power. Then active power is on this x-axis, and the reactive power is on y-axis. This is vertical axis. So apparent power is defined as product of RMS value of voltage and current. So what is the apparent power? It is just a product of voltage and current in a circuit. So its a unit is kilovolt ampere or volt ampere. As there are two values, voltage and current, so its a unit is VA, means voltage ampere or kilovolt ampere. Then next, active or real or true power, there are alternative names. So it is defined as the product of applied voltage and active component of the current, means it is product of voltage, current and cos theta or cos phi. So active power is given by P is equals to VI cos phi. So its a unit is watt or kilowatt. Whatever the we say, for example, press iron is 1000 watt, bulb is 50 watt, 60 watt. So whatever the wattage is given, the wattage is always that wattage is active power. Then last come reactive power. It is defined as the product of applied voltage and reactive component of the current. So that symbol is given by, the reactive power symbol is Q. It is given by V into I into sin phi. Its a unit is volt ampere reactive, or also called as a VAR or kilo kVAR. So its unit is VAR or kVAR. So this is the reactive power. And last, power factor. It is defined as a factor by which apparent power must be applied in order to obtain true power, or simply we can say it is ratio of true power divided by apparent power. If we put the values, then VI gets cancelled and then we get only cos phi. So from this triangle we also can calculate cos phi is equals to R by Z. So R by Z, this is a power factor. And what is the power factor, what is the significance, means it tells about the what is the angle between voltage and current. In electrical system there should be zero angle between voltage or current, or minimum angle between the voltage and current. To have a minimum loss, we should have voltage, and the angle between voltage and current should be as possible as to 0 degree, so that losses will be less. So this is the end of the lecture. this is a quick recap what we have seen till. So we have seen the representation of AC voltage and current, then voltage and current relationship in star in previous lecture. Now in this lecture we have seen AC in resistor, inductor, capacitor, and after that AC supply in combined RL, RC and RLC. So I hope you have understand. Below the description of this video I have given PPT also. You can check and download the PPT. Thank you.